sharing little stuff like that because, you know, they learn through seeing what you're doing.
Okay.
So just being really present in your team page. And I was really guilty of this, like, you know, my first year or so as a coach, that I would just do it and not talk about what I was doing. So even though it comes to you, you've got it. Always be sure to, you know, in the check into the team page, maybe share something like, hey, this was my takeaway from my PD today. How about yours? And then this is what I'm doing today. I have 10 people I'm following up with, 5 people I'm inviting. Here's a sample message of how I invited somebody to my free clean eating group.
Okay.
You know.
I did do that yesterday. Like, I shared how I followed up with everybody that I had talked to and shared it in the group and all that. So I think I just need to do more of that, but I'm just afraid I'm going to let them down and they're going to get discouraged and quit, and it's going to be because they had a crappy coach.
No, it's not you at all. You have the new coach checklist. You have the 7-day training. They have all of that. And I've had coaches that have, you know, hit Success Club and sign coaches before we even get on the phone because of just having that stuff right there. So you have the training, and it also depends on the coach. Like, every coach is not going to take it and run with it. So, you know, everybody works at a different level too. But another thing I've really been focusing on this week is just taking it back to the basics and not focusing so much on, I have to hit Success Club, I have to hit Emerald, I have to hit, you know, sign X amount of coaches, and really just focusing on, I started this to change lives, not to stress about getting my face on a leaderboard and, you know, things like this. Hey!
You figured it out! I don't know if she can hear us. Can you hear us, Lucinda? Can you hear us?
She's like, what?
I don't.
I got it.
You can hear
Okay. We were like,
Yeah, I got it.
oh, hi. So Lucinda, how long have you been a coach?
What, a week?
Oh, yay. Welcome. So what would you say in your first week, some of your biggest questions are, or something that you're, you know, just unsure of as a coach? Because you're totally not alone, and everybody feels overwhelmed and they don't know what they got themselves into the first week. So you're not alone if you feel that way.
Well, I've definitely been overwhelmed with all the information I've been getting and stuff. That's basically it. I mean, other than everything else that goes on in my house, you know, the overwhelming information I'm getting on this and trying to figure out what I'm supposed to be doing.
Okay. But no, like, specific questions right now.
Not really.
Okay. So I always think, like, you know, think about your basics, and you just want to be doing your 3 vital behaviors. So send a couple messages a day to invite and start new conversations. You always want to start new conversations, and that can just be from people from your list, that list of people you made, and then just pick 3 people and kind of go to their Facebook and say, hey, look like you and the kids had a great time this weekend. How have you been doing? You know, something so simple like that, just starting new conversations every day so that you can continue to talk to people. Like, we have a free 5-day clean eating group starting on Monday. So at the end of that conversation, you can just be like, well, it's so good to catch up. I'm so glad things are going so well with you. I don't know if I got to get going. I don't know if you're interested or not, but I have a free 5-day clean eating group that starts on Monday. How about I add you and we can keep each other accountable? So, you know, it's really just, you know, starting new conversations and not being afraid to invite people. And then through that free group, they can kind of learn, like, oh, this is really fun. I enjoyed this, and possibly want to join you in the future. So just send a couple messages a day, and, you know, make sure you're posting. Posting is a really big thing too, that's a lot of people end up coming to you and asking you questions when you are being consistent with your posting, instead of like you feeling like you have to pull teeth to get everybody to talk about fitness. When you're putting that stuff out there, then people are more likely to be like, tell me what you're doing. And that helps a ton. So I would say in the beginning that, you know, the first month as a coach, you're just focusing on your 7-day training group, your posting, and, you know, your 3 vital behaviors, doing your workout, drinking your shakes, doing your personal development, and inviting people. Have you got your workout yet?
I mean, I've been working out.
What program did you order?
The 21 day fix.
And did you have that before you were a coach?
No.
Okay, so you're still waiting for that to come in the mail?
No, I have it now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yay. So, yeah, break that out. And if you have any questions about the containers or anything, you can ask Danielle or post in your challenge group. But, if you made a lunch or dinner and you have your containers, just take a picture of them in the background and kind of say something like, I love counting in calorie or colors and not calories, or, something like that. So just kind of planting seeds, and that really helps too.
Okay.
So yeah, but don't feel like you need to remember everything that Danielle tells you or everything that you watch in a video, or, memorize everything. And, I still learn things, and I've been a coach for 3 years. So don't worry about knowing it all at once. Oh, sorry. It's a rainy, tired day here.
Yeah.
I said I was going to take a nap, and then I just laid here and kind of laid, but didn't actually take my nap I needed. So, so Danielle, I would just encourage them to plug them, any coaches that your coach assign into the 7-day group. That's really helpful. I also think the post, like, it's your job group, I might need to do that more than once a month, because if somebody's a new coach and they're doing the 7-day group, it's really hard for them to do that and the post group, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, that's why, like, I didn't even have Lucinda go into it, because I was like, I don't want to completely blow her mind with 2 groups when she just started. So
yeah, and I have all that information. If you ever want to run it on your own, I have all the posts and everything too. But yeah, I'm gonna probably do that like the 2nd and 4th Monday of the month, so that people can do it, because it is too much to do. Try to do both at once.
yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry.
I'd like to, and Lucinda, I got your welcome post. I just have to read it, and then I'll get back to you tonight.
Okay.
But I was talking to her earlier, and I love this because, like, I know she's got a crazy schedule, and she's got little grandbabies, and she's like, I'm really overwhelmed, and I want them to tell me that, because then I'm like, okay, they're not just ignoring me. Or, like, I have some coaches that are like, just give me everything at once so I can do it all in a week. And then I have some coaches that are like, oh my God, just tell me what I need to do today.
Yeah.
So, like, that communication, I think, helps so much, and everybody learns different.
Yeah. And I think learning that about somebody in the beginning is helpful too. So what I tell my coaches is, I say the first week that you're a coach, your biggest priority is to, 1, finish that checklist, and then 2, focus on the 7-day training, the 7-day group, and getting your new coach post ready.
Right.
And that's it.
Which, yeah, and she did that, and I just have to look at it, and I want them to tell me that. Like, if you're, I don't want you to quit because you're completely overwhelmed. Right. And I also don't want you to sit there and be like, well, I haven't done anything for 3 days because I did my week's worth of work in 1 day.
Yeah. So, so just be very honest. And if you have a question, no question is stupid. Just come to us. I honestly like when people ask me lots of questions, because that's how I am. I'm like that girl that needed to sit in the front of class and raise her hand every 5 minutes. And, so when people ask me a lot of questions, I'm like, good, I'm happy to help, because that's how you learn. And if you get something where somebody says something, you're like, I'm not really sure what to say to this, just take a screenshot and either post it in your team page or send it to Danielle and be like, okay, how would you respond to that? And that's exactly what I did with my coach in the beginning, and that's how you learn. We also have a script section in the Google Drive, and that's really helpful too, to kind of take a look at that and see how you respond and stuff. But the biggest thing about I think the hardest part about being a coach is in the beginning is learning how to talk to people and how to make those conversations. And so just focus on building relationships, like how to be a good friend, and just focus on doing that to people and asking questions and listening and talking to them about their goals, and not being like, oh, she mentions fitness, I can invite her to our next challenge group. Like, kind of wait a little bit longer and make sure that you've got that relationship first. Because have you ever had somebody like kind of be like, hey girl, I don't know if you're interested or not, but I'm having a Mary Kay party tonight, and I just really would like you to help me reach my goal. And you're like, yeah, most of the time I just ignore those messages. So, if you do it too early without building that relationship, it's just going to be like, no, I'm good. So, and there's nothing wrong with that in the beginning, you learn, but just focus on, I always end everything with a question. So like I'm making them like, if I'm talking to somebody, do you think you could handle 30-minute workouts from home? And making sure that I'm ending with a question so that they're going to be responding back to me instead of like, oh, sounds like a great day. I would, if you were out at the grocery store or something, you might be like, yeah, and like don't feel the need to respond back. So that's why ending things with a question is really helpful too when you're starting those new conversations. But
I've been going through to try and follow up with a lot of people from like a year ago when I started, and the message is saved in there, and I'm like, oh my God, did I really say that?
Yeah, we all have that.
I was so bad.
We all have that. But yeah, I mean, I'd rather you learn from doing that than sit in fear and not ask anybody because of that reason. So, but yeah, just send screenshots and we're here to help you. But, the basics too is just making sure you're doing a power hour every day, whether it's 30 minutes here or 30 minutes there. But that has been so helpful. I started doing that again at 7 a.m. and oh my gosh, I have so many more messages and conversations going because I spend an hour and I focus and do what I'm supposed to be doing instead of like trying to get it done over a 4-hour span and not really super paying attention. So if you have 30 minutes to an hour at a time, just buckle down and be like, I'm going to add 3 people from like the people you may know section. I'm going to send 3 new messages and I'm going to send 3 follow-ups and I'm going to invite 3 people to our next group, whether it's a free group or a challenge group or something like that. So just kind of take it back to the basics and not worrying if somebody wants to be a challenger and they don't want to be a coach, because honestly, the best coaches come from challengers a lot of the time. So you don't have to stress over like, oh, I know I'm supposed to be emerald and this and that. But, your big goal is to really help people and you just need to focus on, okay, I'm going to go out and help change somebody's life today instead of like, I need 2 success club points today. You have to kind of really focus and remember why you're doing what you're doing.
Perfect.
So, yeah, but use the scripts, use the power hour, set it up every day. And when you have family and kids, and how old are your grandbabies?
I have 1 grandbaby, 7 months. He'll be 8 months. He'll be 8 months tomorrow, actually.
Oh, that's how old my niece is. That's sweet. So yeah, so when do you watch them a lot? Does he stay with you?
Yes.
Okay, so you're busy. So one thing that's helpful is hey boy, hey. One thing that's helpful is setting up like your time schedule. And it's a little hard with an infant because you're not going to be like, he's going to nap here, he's going to do this here. But trying to like block out family time, block out beach body time, block out, whatever else you have to do. Do you work too?
No.
Oh, okay, good. So you're home. And then is it just the almost 8-month-old or is there anybody else that is with you?
I have 2 daughters here.
Okay.
And my oldest daughter has one on the way.
Oh, so exciting.
Yeah.
How old are your daughters?
14 and 19, 18.
Oh.
19.
That's funny. So, yeah, so just, kind of make some time for you and schedule in your workout too, because it gets crazy and there's a lot of stuff to do. So maybe like, okay, nap time is when I do my power hour, or nap time is when I do my workout, whichever one fits in where, or if it's getting up earlier to do one thing and, just make it happen and know that it doesn't need to rule your life. It's not something that you need to spend 4 hours a day on to be successful at it. So just have fun with it.
All right.
Any other questions from you or Danielle?
No, and I'm going to post what I do in a power hour. I'll post that in the group so that they have a template.
Yeah, I would really start stressing power hours because I didn't do that for a long time. And I even still don't know that I do it enough. But I can tell you that's how much has changed my business. Like when the second February, our team was ranked like top 50, and that's what I was doing every day, was a 7 a.m. power hour. So, because if I do it early, then I have time throughout the day to respond to those people when they get their message later. And then I can send out more messages or have another power 30 out or power half hour later or something like that. So
right. When I would always say I was doing a power hour, and in my head I was doing a power hour, but it was really like 5 hours of scrolling Facebook and shopping on the ads that popped up and letting the dogs out and sending a couple messages. And
yeah,
it was like 5 hours of busy work.
same. So yeah, I've been really trying to focus on being productive and being less busy because I mean, honestly, you can run a very successful business. I probably work 4 hours a day and that's all I want to work. I don't want to work anymore. You know, and I do this full time. So somebody as a new coach very easily can do, you know, an hour at a time and build their business that way if they, you know, got other commitments and stuff. But if you have more time and you want to do it, that's fine. It's not like you're like, oh, I did my hour, I'm done. You know, if you have more time, it's really a fun job because you basically just get, you know, you focus on building new relationships and meeting new people and talking to people that usually share something that, you know, that you have, and that's why you've connected. So when you look at her intro to coach post, what I've had my coaches do is share a little bit of their story in their coach post and then invite to a challenge group.
Okay.
Because then that makes it relatable instead of like, I just got my 21-day fix in this mail. I'm so excited. Who wants to join me? Is not as like riveting because there's a ton of Beachbody coaches on their feed I'm sure that they could go to versus you sharing a little bit about you and why you're excited, you know, a little bit about your story. And our next challenge group starts such and such date. You know, let me know if you want to join us, kind of thing.
Perfect.
Or she could even do it for the free clean eating group that starts on Monday, and she'd probably have even more response for that. And then those can be all potential leads for talking about the challenge group too. Yeah.
Sounds good.
All right. Well,
Yeah,
I hope
know
this.
you said your internet wasn't working, so I don't want to keep you too long.
I know. I don't know what the heck. I'm gonna go try to restart my router. Hopefully that works. But because I was actually gonna be productive and do a bunch of videos tonight, so we'll see.
Yeah. But I appreciate you jumping on.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
no problem. No problem. Shakaya, do you have any questions?
I think she was doing something. She was.
Oh, okay.
She was like trying to multitask.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, listen, it was good to talk to you. Good to see your face. I'm glad you could make it.
Thank you.
And let me know if you need anything.
All right. Thanks, April.
Bye.
Bye.